With the leaf blower, I thought it got a little bit warmer in the testicles, and I've burnt my suit, unfortunately. Our mesh screen on top, strapped with this furry plant, phacelia. At last, we're up at the heather. So I've said for the past few weeks, this site now is destined to go further up the road to some phacelia. So the plan was to move it today, but the temperatures have got way too high now. I just don't move any bees in this weather. So it's just not worth it at all, risking it. But we have brought our mesh roofs, or transport roofs. So I put an empty super on here now. We've got a full super I've just taken off. I'm going to clear that of bees and take that home. And then our mesh travel board, which just fits on. So let us know if you want to see how we make these, yes or no in the comments. This goes on like that. And then for now we can just stick the roof back on top. There we go, they're vented, ready to be moved in the morning first thing. So Vic's all happy with herself because I've treated her to a brand new smoker. No more shirring. So there we go, that's our travel setup. So we've given an empty super, our mesh screen on top, strapped down. Just get the roof on overnight tonight, and then we can move them in the morning. We'll just take the roof off, put them on the trailer, and we're on our way to the phacelia. So if you're watching this video and you're not a beekeeper, I get that's very unlikely. The next time you see a beekeeper and it's 20 odd degrees like this and the beekeepers are nearly enough dying, buy them an ice cream. Trust me, they'll be more than grateful. So Vic's just doing a split on another nuke. She's just taking 3 frames out. They are wall-to-wall brood and still a swarm risk even at this time of the year. Top tip should be in one of the boxes. Beekeeper. Oh, joking aside about ice creams and beekeepers, that was absolutely horrible. So that is sweat. I apologise. But other than doing it topless under my suit, there's no other option. So like I said, we were going to move the bees, decided not to. It's just, it'd have been madness. It's just not worth risking, even with those ventilated roofs. So as I've said, they're all fastened up. More horse flies. They're all fastened up. I'll come back early hours in the morning and move these. I've left the trailer, or I will leave the trailer here in Liverpool with the supers on, ready to go up to the phacelia. The bees are just rubbing these out because they're freshly extracted. Comments, Vic? Your thoughts? Hot. So yeah, we're suffering a little bit. We have got another site to do at Hightown, so we're just going to take on some fluids and cool down a little bit before we crack on with that one. Another question for you: does anybody use a cool vest? So I have seen them on certain websites and things like that. There's some that are battery operated, some that you put in the freezer, so like a gel packs.
Tried the neck fans, but the bees don't like the noise.
Yeah, we tried the neck, as Vic says there, we tried the neck fans, but the bees go mad with the hum and the vibration. So yeah, maybe a vest with those gel patches, them pouches that we can put in the freezer the day before and put on hot days like this, because once we're out on the bees we tend to be out all day. So it's just a case of staying safe really, and staying without getting heat stroke or heat exhaustion, something like that. So has anybody used them? If you have, give us answers in the comments. Early start this morning. Left the trailer at Ollie's overnight in preparation for moving some bees, but I've come right after that, and what a sunrise. Beautiful morning, nice and cool, bit of mist on the fields. So the hives aren't as bad as I thought. I thought there'd be bees on the entrances everywhere, so they don't look too bad. Can soon smoke those into the hive. There's little cobwebs everywhere in the dew. Look at those. They're all over. So I'll get suited up, get my smoker on, get these on while it's still nice and cool. It's lovely in the shade here. Nice fresh morning. After being absolutely sweltering yesterday, so I'm actually enjoying it. Yes, I am sweating again. I've said it before, I can sweat just breathing. So I've loaded these hives. The ventilated roof's doing the trick. The sun's just coming up now properly. Start drying this dew off now, so I'll get these a little bit further up the road onto the phacelia. Oh phacelia, you're breaking my heart. Sorry. So although it doesn't look much to look at the moment, these rows of this furry plant are phacelia. So we've got a huge field here, phacelia, and then right next door is a mix of phacelia, rape, buckwheat, and some other bits I can't remember, but they're just starting to come up as we speak. Try and find you some rows. That is, do you know what? I don't know what, but so that's buckwheat. I do know what that is. More rape. So it's just starting to come up, some more buckwheat there, see, in the rows. These are going to be a little bit angry when I open them up. But nice and cool, it's done the trick. So this is where we're going to be putting them. We've got a nice little area just out the way, right on the edge of the phacelia. So Ollie's going to mow on that for us. So they should be alright here. And I've brought my little barrow, hive barrow. So I've never used this before, but it's an ideal location to give them a go. So I'm not having to carry them through there, because the only thing with hives at this time of year is there's a bit of weight involved with them. So use what I can really to make the job easier. Somebody just coming back from holiday. At least they're coming back to nice weather. There we go then. That's the first lot moved to the phacelia. So, and some behind. Got some, like I said every time, I've got some more to come up. Just need to sort through. Don't know how long it's going to be before I actually run myself into the ground. It's alright getting all these different crops and all these different honeys, but God, on your own it's not half hard work. There's no one to sleep at night. So while we're on a subject of honey, I've seen all the Great Taste Awards have come out, or whatever it's called, while we're on the subject of different honeys. So in principle it works really well for producers and beekeepers and bee farmers who produce their own honey. I think where it falls apart, so whether it's actually any use and whether the consumer actually takes any notice of it is another matter. But the issue I have with it is it's seriously flawed. I know at least 2 people, or 2 companies, businesses, that have picked up awards this year that buy their honey from other producers, so other bee farmers, other beekeepers, pass it off as their own, and have subsequently sent it in to get Great Taste Awards and picked up awards for it. So in my mind, that system's flawed. It's pointless. It's just open to abuse and misinterpretation, and not fraud, is it? But it's not genuine, so we can say that. So I think it's safe to say I won't be entering the Great Taste Awards. it's absolutely pointless. And like I said, I don't know if anybody takes any notice anyway. If you like it, you like it, and you'll buy it. But yep, that's another one to our list then. So that's phacelia, literally next door, just past that hedge. And then this crop here is a pollen and nectar mix, or a bird mix, rapeseed, buckwheat, clover, bits of all sorts in it. And as you can see, a fair bit of robbing going on here as well. So they're just some wet supers, and I've extracted. So right, breakfast time, taking some fluid, just trying to decide now what I do on the way back. I've got some more bees to move, those from Churchtown. They're destined for the heather, so I need to go and stick mesh transport screens on them and get those prepped to move. I'm literally determined by the weather. Obviously, it's meant to be quite cool tomorrow morning, so I might bite the bullet, go and get them prepped today, and then move them early morning up to the heather. The heather's about 30 minutes away, 40 minutes away from us, so not too bad. So it might be alright. Another early start, but it is what it is, and it's always the same at this time of year. We're literally trying to move bees around the weather. I'm quite envious sometimes of people who've got just static apiaries and the bees are sat there, and it's much less work. Question is, do I follow suit? We'll see. See you in a bit. So each year I always buy 2 new breeder queens, just to keep refreshing our genetics within our hives, within our apiaries. And although some of it's down to luck, where the queens go out and open mate, obviously I want to reduce inbreeding as well with our bees. So my new breeder queens arrived. I made a split yesterday, so I'm just going to go through that now. So just make sure there's no cells in there. If there is, I'm just going to knock them back, because last year I bought a very, very expensive breeder queen, tried to introduce her only for me to miss a cell. Ultimately a virgin was hatched, and they killed the very, very expensive breeder queen that I tried to introduce. So I don't want mistakes like that again, costly mistakes. So like I say, make sure they're hopelessly queenless, no cells at all, and then I'll do an introduction with these. So I'll leave her caged up for 3 days, 4 days, maybe a bit more, before I pop the tabs and let her out. It's just all cat brood, emerging brood in there, so hopefully she gets accepted. I almost forgot to record, so we're back over at Southport for 8 in the morning. It's just starting to warm up, so I'm trying to be as fast as I can. So same again, little screen boards on, just so we can transport them without them overheating, and we're going to take these hives up to the heather. So we have arrived at last. We're up at the heather, so this is what we've come up for, Ling Heather. So it's about a week to 2 weeks later than it would normally be, but in fact that's actually benefited us because we weren't quite ready for it. And if you're wondering what that noise is, that's swirling around above my head, so this is also a wind farm as well, but it's ideal for us because it allows us to place our bees on these car parks, which they used to maintain the wind turbines, which is better than having to take our bees straight over moorlands and struggling and carrying hives. We can literally just ditch them on these high standings, but the views are spectacular. So it's quite clear today. I can see in front of us, that's Pendle Hill, and then in the far distance I can see the Lake District. See, it's just coming into flower now. Right, it's lovely and warm up here, so let's get these bees unloaded and let them get out and start orientating. Look at all that heather, it's everywhere. So, apologies for the wind noise, if you can hear that. So I got a phone call from one of the gamekeepers up here this week. Purely coincidence, as obviously didn't know I was bringing my bees up here today. And he said, Stu, what do honeybees look like? I said, well, a bit like a wasp, but different. I know, not the best at descriptions. So he says, well, let me send you this video. And this is what I received. So these bees are underneath this water boat, as you can see. Obviously, they're no worry in my presence. Unfortunately, I'm quite low on battery here, so hopefully do it as quick as I can. But yeah, they were a little bit obviously anxious of going in this water boat at the side of this pen. So I have a feeling obviously they're in the inside of this water boat stand and they're happily coming and going. So luckily that's empty. I'll turn it over, have a quick look. I've brought a nut box with me just in case I need to take them with. So as you know, as a rule, I don't do swarms. But the fact that these are up on the moor, it's very unlikely that they'd see it through winter. So probably the best thing is, let's say, if we can remove them safely, we'll take these with us and give them a new home in a nut box and hopefully get them through this winter. So that's where they're coming out of, that little hole there. And there she is. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. So I've placed her in the box. These will all start fanning now, showing the other bees where the queen is. So I'll come and check them in a week or two, just see how they're getting on. But hopefully they'll be all right now. They'll start building comb out in there, and there's time left in the year. I mean, look where we are though. So it was in the bottom of a water boat, right on top of the moors. So it was only a little cast swarm, but God knows where it's come from. And I've just arrived at Taylor's farm shop in Latham. Now, this crop looks absolutely stunning. So it's a cover crop. Oh, there's rape in there, I think there's some peas, some radish, but look at it. It's just alive with bees and butterflies, of which I've hardly seen any this season. But again, it's like the rape the other week. If I look over it, I can see bees working it everywhere. It's just hard to pick up with a camera. And right on the edge, a lovely row clover as well. So facing the bees is exactly the same. They just planted it a little bit later. And there's sunflowers in this one, which are coming up slowly. If I look closer, there's one. There's another one. So they are coming. In fact, there's quite a few there starting to come up. So that should work well once this is finished. Just behind the bees, this one will be starting. But yeah, it just looks stunning. So check these. Check some room in the supers. Hopefully we'll be taking some off, or at least putting clearer boards on. And I want to try and get done before this, it's meant to hit 25 degrees today, so I don't want to be eating that. So yesterday, when I was blowing the bees at the supers with the leaf blower, I thought it got a little bit warm in the testicles, and I've burnt my suit, unfortunately. Gutted about that. So the bees are up into the top super, starting to pull cappings down on there, so hopefully that's 3 full supers on that one. I have brought some more empties with me. So this colony's feeling a little bit congested, and reason being, they're a little bit pollen bound. So it's frame after frame in this brood box, just full of fresh pollen that's coming in. There's another one there. So all the brood nest, all the brood area, it's just been backfilled with pollen. So these did try to swarm a few weeks ago. We got them back, and I can see fresh eggs. We have no sign of a queen, so But give them the benefit of the doubt for now. Check again in a week, see what the brood pattern looks like before I make any decisions. But yeah, they could do with some frames of foundation as well to draw on. We can use this pollen elsewhere. Imagine if she is here, she's at this end because that's where all the laying pattern is. We've had a few queens recently, they've been so difficult to spot. Almost identical colourings and markings to the workers. Other than the size, it's difficult to tell.